Okay. So I'm going to show you how to make this background. Where if you do any photography, you can blur the background and then your foreground becomes your focus. And this is really easy. It's a wet on wet technique. I have pre-sketched where I'm going to put the flowers on this. And take your plain piece of paper here. And you want to use a good, this is a number 12 round end brush. And I'm going to bring my water up here to the corner. And I'm just going to wet it down. Wet it down. You don't want to soak it. You just want it to be able to have the paint that you add to it to actually spread. And that's the whole point of it. So once you've done that, then you go into your palette. Now I did this background in the greens and a little bit of blue. I'm going to do this all different shades of blue and see what I come up with. So I've got 3 different shades of blue here, and then I have some purple over there. So I might do that. So I'm just going to randomly place these colors onto adding water back to my watercolor to get it reconstituted, and just throw that on there. Anywhere. You're going to have some dark parts, and lighten that up. And take this lighter blue and throw that in there. And here. I like to frame it out with the darker colors on the outside. And then I think I'm going to take a little bit of this red and throw that in there so that I get some, I'm just kind of splatting it. And it will run into this blue and create purples, which I think is going to be really cool. And let's do some of this lighter blue at the bottom. Maybe make it into a lavender color. And get that color out of there. Now, since it's mostly blues, I think what I'd like to do is throw in here a little bit of, see if I can, we'll take some of this. This is phthalo blue. It's a real rich dark blue. And I'm going to mix together with that this cad red. And now I've got this really deep color purple. And if I want to brighten it up, I'm going to brighten it up with some more red, so it's not as dark. We'll see how it looks on here. So now I got this reddish purple color going on, and just kind of let it do its thing. Get some on the edge there. Now, if I wanted to give the illusion that there's, like, you can see here, it's kind of puddling. Or some kind of green background, but I don't think the green would look really good on here. So I'm going to use this other watercolor palette that I have and see if I can't throw some, actually I have orange in here. Actually I have an orange over here. I forgot I had this orange. Now that orange has got some brown in it, and I don't want the brown. So I'm going to grab this yellow for the orange and then throw some orange next to the red. Just to kind of like give the illusion of maybe some sunshine in the background, Maybe just some. Now this is going to create some blues. Now where it's really, really watery, and I don't want that watery look to be there, I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to dry it off. Now, when you get too much paint on the paper and you want to, it's called lifting. You take your brush and you put it on there, and where you've got too much paint, you can just take it off of there. So, this is puddling up here. So, this will be interesting as to whether I end up with a specific kind of background. I just thought I'd throw that out there, and I'm going to smooth this out some. And then I'm going to show you, well, this is, now you need to let this dry completely. And I do not know where my dryer is, so it's ended up becoming MIA. So I'm going to make this yellow over here really, really yellow, if I can. Over here. Like there's sunshine in the background. Well, this is like really crazy background for doing these little air bubbles or whatever you want to call them. So I'm going to let that do its thing. I'll take some of this paint off the side and let this dry so I can do the next step. Now while we're waiting on that to dry, I could get my dryer, but I'm going to show you how to, with one brush, make some little wildflowers. So I'm going to make some here in this white part, just kind of like have them laying it below. And I'm going to move this. This is to make the circles. Little acrylic stencil. Now, the brushes that I'm going to use for doing the flowers is called a cat's tongue, and I have several different sizes of cat's tongue brushes. Got a set of these, and these things are phenomenal for making just little flowers. So I'm going to use the biggest one, which is about a 1/2 inch. This brush can be used sideways. You can use the tip for very fine work. So I'm going to do a, let's see, I guess we'll do a cornflower blue kind of flower. It has a little bit of a purplish tint to it. And what I could do is put a dark tip on it. So I dipped the tip of the brush in the dark paint. The lighter blue is on the end. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to pick it up. Lay it down, pick it up, lay it down, pick it up, down, down, down. Okay, and I can keep going further out if I want to make the petals to go out further. And as you can see, it's giving a dark center, and it looks like you can almost see veins in these little petals that it's forming. I'm going to put in another row, fill this little flower in, just like that. And there's a lot of water on there, but I like the vibrancy of it. So we're going to do another one with this, I'm going to use this bright orange for the main color of the flower. I'm playing with the double loading whereas this is full of orange pigment. And then I'm going to dip just the tip into this red and just see what we end up with. So let's see what comes out. And we're just going to put it in there. So this is making, you can keep coming out to make it a bigger flower, bigger petals, and just come out just a little bit further, and then let that dry. So you can see it has the dark and then it has the orange on the outside, and that way it's almost like it's variegated. Now the other way you can use this brush is on its side, and you get a whole different kind of petal. So I'm going to do that with, let's do this blue here. I think this is, it's almost a turquoise color. And I'm using the largest cat's tongue one to do it. And so the point typically is going towards the center of the flower. And I'm doing it up on its side. Not flat, on its side. And we're just going to go like this. Then I'm going to take it like that. And just slowly go around. And have my points to the outside. And then it's light in the center part. So that I can make that into my center. Once this is dry, I put yellow in there. And let's see, what was the other way? Oh. Now I'm going to get the smaller cat's tongue and see if I can't finagle something I have kind of in my head. So there's 4 sizes. This is the biggest one. And the second one, we'll line these up next to each other so you can see the difference in sizes. And that's the littlest one. And I have another one that's even bigger. That was in another set of brushes. But there's the 4 sizes. Let's see if you can see those in there. So I'm going to take the next to the smallest one out. And I'm going to do something with the green. And this is a hooker's green. And it comes to such a nice point. You can literally draw a very fine line. I mean, it's like using a script. And that can go in there. And then this little guy. Like that. And this one. Go. Okay. So I'm just used the tip. Now if I want to make leaves using this, I can do it one of 2 ways. I can do it on its side, or do it flat, or this way. So I'm going to try it this way, where I put it down, and that gave me that dark tip. So let me, and you can fill it in. You're going to do your own thing as far as that goes. Let's see. And now the other thing you can do is you can start here and draw it up and then lift it up. So to do these leaves, you can go put the point down, press, pull, and lift up. Press, pull, and lift up. So now I've got a different kind of leaf altogether on here. So that's how you can make those leaves. You can highlight these. You can go back in and put some yellow on there. Grab some water here. And give these leaves a little highlight. top side. Do that with these guys here. Now there's a, I don't know if I can do this one because I'm going to try it. I haven't done this one yet. Where I'm going to do the flower and then add the stem in. So I'm going to try go like this. Kind of like bluebells. You just kind of lay it down. And that, from that, I can go in and add the stem. Nice on the point, straight up, and bring it right down to here. Look how skinny I can make that. And then for the leaves, just bring it up. Now, if I can do this, anybody can do this. So once these centers are pretty well, I'm going to try to put a few little dots here for the center. In there, same thing here. And you can wait, which is the best way to actually give more details. You can use the same brush, or you can use the smallest one and take your same color, just using more of the pigment. And once the paper is kind of dry, it shows up better as veins. So we're going to go here. And I'm just going to follow out where those petals are. Where I made those petals. Just and do some little veins out. And that helps those to be what they need to be. Okay. And that red one, take some of the red and the orange, and just give it its petals. Just go in there using that point and make your center. And you can even go and outline from below. This would be good for doing like hibiscus flowers. And like that. Put that behind that leaf. Like that. It gives it more detail. Pull that out, blend it out. And when this is dry, I can put some really bright yellow in the center to give it that really pop of color. And let's go to this little guy here. I'm going to use this lighter blue. See what I can get out of that. You can fluff these out just a little bit. Give the petals a little bit more shape. Just like that. And we'll go to this little guy here and give him some definition. Yeah. Where you can see the light edges from it. Just like that. Oh, it looks like little cosmos almost. I think I'm getting my flowers correct. And that's how you do these little guys. And if it has too much paint on it, take a dry brush, go up to it, and lift it. Up there. And you can lift it off of there. just like that. Now this paper, it's pretty dry. I will need to like press it or whatever. Now for this step, you do not need any paint. You just need water. So I'm going to switch out my water. Clean that brush off. And get some clean water here because that other water's really dirty. You don't want to put your bubbles, as I call them. You don't want to do your bubbles with dirty water because you're going to pull up paint. So what you're going to do is figure out where you want your little circle to be. And we're going to put one right here. And what you do is, you have a paper towel ready. Okay. Load your brush with some water. Make sure it's clean. And then you're going to hold this down. And you're going to scrub where that paint is. Take your paper towel and lift it. Now there's some excess paint on here. It hasn't quite dried, but that's okay because I plan on putting something over that anyway. So let's see. Let's try a spot where you can actually see it better. I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to do a little one. Actually, I love how this is like several different sizes. So I'm going to go there. And you just want to do a circular swish and then lift it. And if it doesn't lift it all, as much as you want, you can always go back and lift some more. I'm going to do one more here in the dark blue so you can actually see this really well. And wet it. You don't want it too wet because it'll seep under it, like that one did. And now the other thing you can use Q-tips to do this effect if you want to. And now you can see there is a distinct little circle there. I'm going to do one more. And I'll try to hold it up so you can see. Actually, see it. Okay, we're going to do a big one right here. Right here in this yellow. Water it. Just want the brush to be wet enough to pull the pigment up. Yeah. And wipe around it. And then there's one there. I guess I can do one more over here. We'll do one on this side. And what I like about this little template is it has lots of different sizes. I mean, you could do air bubbles from a fish with this one. And see if I can do a small one, a little small guy, right here. Like this, go in that little hole. Turn around. This is where a Q-tip would come in handy. A wet Q-tip would do this great. But I'm going to do it this way. Okay. Okay. You can actually see it. That's excellent. Now this one, it needs a second dabbing. Because it's not very clear. So we'll go in here and get that cleaned out really well. There we go. So now you can see these guys. And I'll show you this. Point them out. Now I probably should have made, now I could make this background darker. As you can see, here's a circle here that I took out. Here, there's a teeny tiny one. There's one here. But when this is all done, it will look like a blurred background, but multicolored instead of just the greens and the blue. And a little bit of yellow. Try this method out. It makes a really cool backdrop to, this would be perfect for a bouquet of flowers, or even just an abstract of some sort. But try this method out. It's a lot of fun. I've discovered it and I'm having a ball.